Welcome to the sixth formula of the email list building course. My name is Saeed, and in this formula we'll learn how to retain your bouncing visitors and convert them instead. So before I move on, I have to share a backstory with you guys. A story from my high school. Back in 2004, when I was still in my school, I was planning to sell all of my comics which I had. I've been a big fan of both Marvel and DC and had tons of comics. And I wanted to sell all of them because they were old and I didn't need them anymore, so I wanted to generate some extra cash out of it. So I was planning to sell them off, and I put on a stall in my garage and invited everyone in my neighborhood and asked them to visit my stall, and if they like any of the series is what I had at that time, and they could buy at a very good price. And due to my on-foot advertisement, I got a very good response in the neighborhood. A lot of people came in and visited my stall. And I was selling from 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. For 3 days in a week. And it took me 11 days in total to finish my stock. And I sold all my comics. Hooray! I'm a great salesman. But that is not the case, guys. That's not the case. Yeah, I did finish my stock and sold all the comics which I had, but it wasn't that easy. And that's what I'm going to share with you guys, that actually what happened and how it is related to this formula. Okay, now I had 500 pieces of comics, and all the pieces were on store, and I was trying to sell all of them. But in the first 3 days, out of the 11 days time which I took to sell all the 500 copies, in the first 3 days, I sold only 7 copies. Although I had tons of visitors, a lot of my neighbors and other people, actually whomever I invited, a lot of them actually came in. Okay, now I sold 500 copies in just 11 days. I had 500 pieces of comics, and all of them were sold out in a very short time. But in the first 3 days out of the 11 days span which I took to sell all the copies, in the first 3 days I sold only 7 copies out of 500. Almost less than 3 pieces a day, which would not be enough. I mean, even if I'm doubling it, let's say I'm selling 6 pieces a day for 11 days, I'll be selling 66 pieces of comics, not 500 pieces. And I sold only 7 copies in total in 3 days, in just 3 days. Now, in the last 7 days, I was able to sold off all the comics. The rest of the 493 pieces were sold off in the last 7 days, which is 67 pieces a day. Now, I was selling 3 pieces a day. Then from there, in the last 7 days, I was able to sell 67 pieces a day. A great leap in a very short time. How did I do that? That's a very interesting question actually, because how actually did I do that? It was a garage store. I wasn't promoting on Facebook, on the internet, on TV or anywhere else. I just did on-foot advertisement. But I did increase the sales from 3 pieces a day to 67 pieces a day in just one night. All I had to do was figure out. All I had to do was think out loud, ask myself question that what's happening? Why I'm not being able to sell stuffs? And this is what I actually learned. Okay, this is what I actually did in the first 3 days. First, I did not ask any questions to the visitors who came to visit my store. They just came in, saw the comics, and just left. Some of them bought, most of them didn't. But I did not ask them any questions at all that, okay, do you like the comics? You don't like it? What are you actually looking for? Can I help you? Nothing. The second thing what I did was I did not tell them anything. Like, okay, come back later. Alright, if you don't have, okay, if I don't have what you're looking for, you can let me know. Give me the name of the comic you're looking for. Give me the name of the series or whatever you're looking for. I'll try to look up my shelves and see if I have it. I didn't do that. And the customers, this is the third thing what happened. The customers who came in to see my collection, most of them were just seeing my collections and leaving, and I wasn't doing anything. They were just coming to my store and seeing my comics, my collections, and they were just leaving, and I wasn't doing anything. They were just bouncing off. And that's what bounce off is, guys. That's what bounce rate actually means. That is, when your customers are landing on your website or visiting your site without taking any action, without doing anything, when they are just getting out of your site and you are not doing anything to stop them, that's when bounce off comes into play. Now, I was unable to understand for the first 3 days that what's going on. I mean, okay, people are coming into my stall, they're seeing my stuffs, they're seeing my comics and they're not buying it. I thought that, okay, they didn't like it, alright, they'll go away, I'll have new customers, someone will buy it, but that was not happening. I was not being proactive, I was not being, agile enough to sell my stuff. I was thinking that, okay, this is gonna happen automatically, but I didn't understand that nothing happens automatically in this world at that time, in the first 3 days. And as a result, I wasn't able to sell anything, it was just 3 pieces of 3 comics a day I was selling, and that wasn't enough. If that continued, if I didn't understand where I was going wrong and didn't take the precautions, I would have sold maybe 60 or 70 comics at max by the end of the 11 days. Okay, now this is what I did. All the customers who were coming in after the first miserable 3 days I had selling my comic books, from the 4th day, whenever any customer came in and when I saw that they were not buying, they were about to leave, they're not trying to talk to me, just seeing the stuff and about to leave, I became proactive. I went to them, asked them that, okay, do you need any of these comics? If you don't need any of those comics, what you need? I got a lot of collections. I got plenty of stuffs in my shelf and I can give you what you want. So if you don't find what you want over here, you can leave me your number, I can call you back and sell you the product what you're looking for at a very reasonable price, what you'd love. And sell you the product at a very reasonable price, what you'd love. Now, that strategy actually clicked. A lot of people were coming in, people who were not actually trying to buy stuff. I went to them, in a proactive way, in a very polite way, asked them, tried to help them, tried to understand what they needed, acted like a salesperson, and I was able to sell all my stuff, so all the comic books which I had, in a very short time. In just 7 days, ran out of all my stocks comprehensively, and I got all the cash I wanted. So you see, guys, the customers who are coming to your website, just imagine your website, just put your website in the place of my store. Now, the customers who are landing on your website, who are visiting your website, when they're not taking any action, when they're not following you, when they're not, doing anything on your site, not following any of the call to actions what you have placed on your website, and just leaving without doing anything at all, that is a bounced customer. And the amount of customers who are not taking any actions and leaving your site in an idle way every day, the number of those customers is called the bounce rate. That's what bounce rate is. Now, I'm going to do something very dangerous right now, that is doing maths in front of you guys, because I've been horrible in maths, but still, taking the risk for the sake of you guys, so I could explain you what bounce rate actually is and how you can actually calculate it for your website. Now, in this slide, I'm going to show you how you can do that. So here it goes. Let's assume you have total incoming visitors, that is 50. You have 50 visitors every day visiting your website. That is your incoming customers. These are the customers who are there to see what you got. They may not be coming to your website with the buying intention. They just want to see, compare, and check what you have. Now, actions taken by, 15 out of this 50 customers took an action on your site. Let's say they might have subscribed for a newsletter, they might have opted in for a content upgrade, you might have upgraded one of your contents and offering them a cheat sheet, an Excel file, a PDF file with some good information. They might have They might have opted in for that. These 15 customers, they somehow took some action on your site and they are with you. They have shown their interest that, okay, they're interested about what you're offering, what you have on your site. That's why they shared the information with you, took an action on your site, which you asked them to do. Now, when you take this 15 customers out of the total number of customers who visit your website, that's 50, the number is 35. These 35 customers did not follow what you offered. They did not take any action, they remained silent, they were idle, and just left your site. Now the percentage here is, you calculate in this way, and here is the percentage, that's 70%. Now this number, this percentage, 70%, is the bounce rate. Like, this is how you actually calculate the bounce rate on your site. That is, bounce rate equals to customers left without taking any action divided by total number of customers visited into 100. The figure you get is the bounce rate. So is there any benchmark to follow when you're considering bounce rate? Let's say you have a bounce rate of 70%, which I just showed you, or you have a bounce rate of 80%, or you have a bounce rate of just 1% or 20% or something like that. So what is the minimum bounce rate you should have on a website which would be not dangerous for you? Unfortunately, there isn't a benchmark because it depends. It varies industries to industries. That in some particular industries you'll find the bounce rate is pretty high, still they're in profit. They are actually dealing in products which are very expensive. They are selling maybe one product in a month, and that is covering up their expense. And in other side, you may find that the bounce rate is only 30%. It's very low, it's very good if you check it out. But still they're not making profit because they're not dealing with products which could actually generate a lot of profit. So this is how it actually works. You just cannot benchmark a good bounce rate or a bad bounce rate. It doesn't work like that. But in general, if the bounce rate is more than 50%, then you are actually in a dangerous position if you're not dealing in highly expensive products. Because in that case, what will happen is more than 50% of your customers are actually not taking any action and just bouncing off your site. Now, why this is dangerous is the customers whom you actually generate to come to your website, they do not come for free. All the customers who are visiting your website are coming because you have invested a lot of money, time, and effort to generate that traffic. You worked really hard. You created great contents, work really hard to build your SEO and optimize your site and stuff like that. That's how you're getting that traffic. That's how you're generating those visitors to your site. And a single one of them, if not taking any action on your site, at least if not opting in, okay, they may buy in a later stage. That's a different thing. A customer can be nurtured. A visitor with a high potential can be nurtured to become a paid customer. So that is considerable. But when a visitor is landing on your website and not taking any action, such as opting in, subscribing, registering, or exchanging the contact information, and just leaving, that is a big loss. Because over 70% of customers who are leaving your website without taking any action, they don't come back. They just get into a black hole, never to return, and that's how it works. Businesses lost millions of dollars because of this, because they were not working in stopping their visitors from bouncing off their site. And in this formula, that's what we're going to teach you, that how you can actually stop these visitors from leaving your site without taking any action and save the money, time, and effort you invested to generate them to land on your website. And now I'm going to show you how you can actually do it in just few clicks by using OmniClick. Okay, to set up abandoned intent on any of your pages in your website, the process is very simple. Just log into your OmniClick account and then click on Create New Opt-in Funnel. Now from the pop-up opt-in boxes, you can select any of these templates. Actually, you can select a template from the full screen welcome kit as well, from the sliders, and also a floating bar. Okay, so what you can actually do is set up an abandoned intent tracking in a very simple way. Let me show you how you can do it by pop-up. Okay, that's the most common thing what we have in the industry. Most of the businesses uses pop-ups for abandoned targeting. So that's what I'll be showing you. So it's easier for you to understand how to use it. Now, I'll use this template over here. You can use any of these templates though, but I'll be using this one to show you guys. So all right, so this is the template here. Let me just get rid of the first option here. This is a personalization feature, which I'll be explaining you later down this course. So here you can actually change the background image too. You can click on this option and upload the image which you may want to put in this form. Now, here you can see there's a discount offer. You can simply change the text from here. Okay. For example, get big discount. Okay, this looks cool. It's up to, let's say you want to change it to 15%. Okay, you can do that. And here are some other contents which you can change pretty easily. Like this. Okay, so it's pretty simple. Now if you scroll down here, make sure you keep this box enabled. You can check it up, this one, the privacy checkbox, or leave it alone like this, and remove the branding by clicking on this option. This makes it look more cool. And you can change the funnel name to, let's say, abandon intent. Sorry, I misspelled. Sorry, guys. Okay. All right. And then hit on save. And it's all set. So what you're going to do right now here is you can move on and leave this thank you page as it is. All right. Or if you want to customize it, you can customize it from these options or switch to another success theme from this place. Okay. Now you go on to the display rules, select this option, close this one, make it accurate. Then I'll be using my pricing page. I'll copy the path from here, scroll down, select this option, go to the drop down, select an exact match, put it over here, click on save and publish. Then I'll exit. So it's live now over here. Now let me show you guys. There you go. This is how it will appear on your website. You can change it. I mean, the design, what you see over here, you can change this this image, the background color, the text color, the CTA color and stuff. And you can customize it the way you want. Whenever your user is about to exit, this technology is going to detect it and going to show up an offer which they cannot refuse and will be encouraged to opt in by giving the name and email address. This is how it will work. There you go. It's pretty simple.